Hey, good morning, you guys. Um, Sometimes, I sit down to do this. Mostly what I'm doing is reading from this little book every day, the 24-hour day book. And so I sit down and to do the reading, and often I have a little something, hopefully words of encouragement or words of love or to share. And today, I'm working again today, and I slip away for a few minutes to do this in the morning, and I sat down here, and it's like, damn, there's nothing, nothing's coming, and then, boom, it was there, and the truth is that all of our thoughts come from, unless they don't, and I'll share about that in a second, but from our previous experience. And if our idea of life is that, that it's not safe, or that there's trouble, or that, that things are not going to go our way, or that we're, if we're living from a conception of an unsafe life, then the thoughts that come are can be troubling. And the quick little story I'm going to tell is about a friend here at the treatment center at Fresh Start, who'd lost his wallet last week, like Thursday or Friday, I guess, and had left it on the bus. I'm not sure how that happened, but he left it on the bus. He knew he left it on the bus, but so I think it was Friday, and he was really upset. Wow, he was just really upset because he just redid all his ID and everything, and we were all, supporting him, and because we love him, and that's what we do, but the Lost and Found was closed all weekend, and it was a long weekend, so he had to kind of be with it all, Friday, because when he called Friday, they said, well, things don't come in till later in the day, so call tomorrow. Well, Saturday it was closed, and Sunday it was closed, and Monday it was closed. And Tuesday they said, well, yes, we got a lot of stuff here, but we don't know what. So almost a week before this morning, they said, well, yes, we found a wallet. You come on down. And he went down, and sure enough, it was his. But the mind just conjures up all kinds of things, and how quickly sometimes it can blame. I don't know that this happened, but I know that can happen for us. That that guy that was sitting behind me or beside me probably stole it. I mean, it's just all of this stuff can go on in the thinking process. And the bottom line is that we can't trust our thoughts. We just can't trust our thoughts. And so we can either kind of build a fort around ourselves to protect ourselves and live in that protected space, or we can live free outside of the fort in a space that's more of a God consciousness space, recognizing that we have to surrender our thoughts, we have to surrender our beliefs, we have to surrender our ideas about life, and live a different way. And so instead of what's in it for me, we live in how can I serve? And it's a complete change. Last night I was at a big book study, and we read the chapter more about alcoholism. And it's great because it talks about Carl Jung. And Carl Jung was one of the early third-party endorsers, if you will, of the concept that we had to make a complete shift, a complete psychic change. That for the real alcoholic or the real addict, there was no half measures. There's no possible way without a complete spiritual shift in our, not just our beliefs, but in our actions and in our connection. We become God conscious, and Jung was really good at pointing that out. And as it's turned out, the years have gone by, almost a century since Jung's teachings, and he's proved to be bigger now than he was then, even because his teachings were revolutionary. And anyway, so that's what has to happen, because when we're trying to manage from our old way of thinking, we're always in trouble. And not just the alcoholic and the addict, but, lots of us living, in panic and in fear, without traditional abuse. The neat thing about being an alcoholic is that my answer to life's problems was to drink or use, and it really took me out of the game fast, and so if we're alcoholic or addict, usually, we either die quite soon, or we get into such a mess, we burn the house down, we get into such a mess that we have to do something. We cannot, prolong the inevitable. We have to either change or die, and but it can be a real messy road. And so just know that the bottom line is, step one, my life had become unmanageable. Life had become unmanageable. And we can't run it from our old thoughts. So what happens in the 12 steps is it gives us a new way to live. And what day is it now? The 14th. Let's just read October 14th. Beautiful. It's a beautiful day. It kind of got a bit of our first snowfall. Nothing serious. It was beautiful, very humid this morning. It felt like Vancouver after a little snow. It was beautiful. October 14th, thought for the day. How big a part of my life is the 12 steps, is AA? Is it just one of my activities, and a small one at that? Do I only go to AA meetings now and then and sometimes never go at all? Do I think of AA only occasionally? Am I reticent? Am I reticent about mentioning the subject of AA to people who might need help? Or does AA fill a large part of my life? Is the foundation of my whole life? Where would I be without AA? Does everything I have and do depend on my AA foundation? Is AA the foundation of which I built my life? So, it says so many times, it tells us, and it's proven, I've seen it a million times, that if we don't actually build our foundation in a spiritual way of living, we're screwed, I mean, imagine if you spent your life here and all you did was to build a fortune, but maybe never, spend time looking after your neighbor. I know that sounds almost biblical, but I recognize it took me a long time to really get how important it was to serve others and to tell my truth when it wasn't appropriate to serve others. I think of an example in my life of when I said yes and when it was really no. So it's okay, here we go. Meditation for the day. Lay open, God, your failures and mistakes and shortcomings. Do not dwell upon your failures. Do not dwell upon your failures, upon the fact that in the past you have been nearer a beast than an angel. True enough. You have a mediator between you and God. You have a mediator between you and God, your growing faith, which can lift you up from the mire and point you towards the heavens. You can still be reconciled with the Spirit of God. You can still regain your harmony with the divine principle of the universe. Nice. Hi. Hey there. Kayla. Hi, Kayla. Thanks. Love it. Prayer for the day. So get yourself this little book. It's an amazing little book. And 24-hour-a-day book. And when there's lots of them, there's a number of books that one can have. Daily Reflections is a really nice one as well. And it's there's lots of little daily readings that we can do to help to keep us on the beam, Prayer for the day. I pray that I may not let the beast in me hold me back from my spiritual destiny. I pray that I may rise and walk again. Amen. I just want to mention that I've been reading another book a little later in the day. I'll read it today and tomorrow, 5:30, 6 o'clock, called the Bhagavad Gita. It's pretty deep, and oh, great. Get a copy of the Bhagavad Gita and we can read that together. I'm reading it on Zoom, probably about 5:30 or 6 tonight. and then it goes, live on Facebook, and it goes live on my YouTube channel. I'd love it if you'd follow my YouTube and subscribe to that too. That's it. Just moment to moment, living life, following the thread wherever it takes us. Okay, love you guys, and we'll chat soon. And if you have any questions, thoughts, you want to just talk sometime, you can get my number, or message me here, and I'll send it to you, and we'll talk. Just any questions about surrender, about discovering our relationship with the higher power, with God. It's there for all of us. It isn't exclusive. It is for all of us. Okay. And love you. Bye.